Hello everybody. It is Jackie from Pocket of Preschool, and guess what we are going to talk about today? We're going to talk about gingerbread and Christmas and holidays around the world, fine motor journal. So if you want to grab your pen and pencil, or all of these ideas are also in the Fine Motor Journals Teacher's Guide, so all of that is there. So we are going to jump right in. So we are going to talk about gingerbread theme, a Christmas theme, and then Christmas around the world. So kind of a little bit of everything. And I have my little gingerbread friend with me because usually in my classroom, the gingerbread man visits our classroom. Kind of like Elf on the Shelf, but he's like a stuffy that the kids have, and they can play with him all week or all month, and it's just really fun. And he leaves little like learning treats for us. I have a whole video on that if you want to know more about that. But he's also fun to bring to the Fine Motor Journal table. Now, if you're wondering what fine motor journals are, they are basically kind of like a journal that's basically like a mini portfolio of all of their fine motor activities that you're going to do. So it's things like writing letters, cutting, tearing, stickers, drawing, making all of those different types of lines, all of those, and directed drawings. All of those things we put in our fine motor journals because we need to be doing them all the time, and they're all in one nice little place. If you use the line paper, it's fine because the kids ignore it. They do not even know that the lines are there. So use those. If not, you can get the blank ones. I have a ton of videos on fine motor journals and how to get them started on every season. And this one we're going to do all about gingerbread and Christmas. And Christmas around the world. So let me jump right in and show you. So in your Fine Motor Teacher's Guide, there are a ton of ideas. So I opened it up to the Christmas theme, and I'm going to show you some more that aren't in there too. So there's six fine motor journal activities for each theme to kind of get you started. Now, you pick the ones that you're going to do with your class. There's some that are types of lines. There's always like a cutting and a drawing one too. Sometimes there's some math as well in there too. So, and we're going to use, I'm going to show you how to use, since it's kind of, middle of the year, how to use some of the printables that you may already have in your classroom for your fine motor journals. Because again, we want to use the things we already have printed and prepped. So the first fine motor journal that we do is the one where we make an object and then we make a line that kind of goes with it. So for this one, so how much fun is this? So we have our gingerbread man, and you could do candy canes, like how much fun is that? Like so cute. So what they do first is they make it, and then you get out your types of lines because we want to show those as examples. So for this, we are going to also be working on the letter F. Now, in your Fine Motor Journal Teacher's Guide, it tells you what letters that you could possibly work on, because a lot of letters have kind of a lot of the same types of lines. But it's this card that has just the bumps or hills, whatever you want to call it. And then it has a line across and a line down. So a F has a whole bunch of different types of lines. So you can have your different types of lines out, and you're gonna say, we're gonna make candy canes. Now, I put a candy cane sticker in the corner. You can also show an example of a candy cane. Like these are some candy cane plates, and you can talk about the shape, how it has kind of a hook at the top. Like how fun. So you can show a candy cane, because we always forget that sometimes our kids don't remember exactly what everything looks like. We're gonna pretend like and now you have a fine motor journal that you do with your class too. So it's a I do, you do. So I'm going to say, I am going to make a candy cane, and my candy cane has a loop and it goes down. So I'm gonna start up here, and I'm gonna start up a loop, and then I'm gonna go, or a hill, and then go down. And then I'm gonna make a hill and go down. Now, when you're making it, you wanna make it like an F, like a lowercase f, because you know in your head that's the type of line we wanna make. And then you're gonna go like hill or bump down. And then the kids do it. And then they make their candy canes, right? And then you go, oh my gosh, what does a candy cane have on it? It has a whole bunch of, and then you're gonna go, oh my God, it has stripes. And say, okay, you're gonna make little line across, and you're gonna cross the middle. So you're gonna make stripes on your candy canes, a whole bunch of little dashes, dash, 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 or across, across. Now you pick the words you wanna use with your kids, and I model usually one or two depending on your kiddos and how much of a model they need. And then you say, okay, now you guys make your stripes on your candy canes. And then they make their stripes on their candy canes. And you go, oh my gosh, do these candy canes look like any letter in the alphabet? And they're gonna go, oh, kind of looks like an upside down J, which it does. But you're gonna go, oh my gosh, you know what? It kind of does look like upside down J, but it also looks like a lowercase f. So you're gonna go, my F goes bump down, just like my top of my candy cane, and has one stripe. Look, it's like an F is kind of like a candy cane with one stripe. And then you're gonna model another one. I'm gonna go bump, down, stripe. Bump, down, stripe. And then they would fill up their page with their letter Fs. So when they're done, it looks like this. Okay, because again, we're just making all those different types of lines. Now, these have nothing to do with letter sounds. Not a thing. So the next idea, oh, you know what? I actually didn't start with gingerbread. I started with Christmas, just FYI. I kind of changed paths a little bit on you guys. So the next one is Christmas lights. Now, I know you're going to say Christmas lights, that is not an E, but it's all about how you make it. So we're going to pretend, again, like you guys are my students. So I'm going to say, we're going to make a long strand of Christmas lights. So I'm going to make a long wire for my Christmas lights to go on. It's a loopy line that's curvy. You guys try it, and then they do it. And then say, now our Christmas lights, they have a light bulb on one side, and they have all different colors. So you get to pick your colors. So they go touch the line out, 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 touch the line out. And say, you know, I want to switch colors. And then you can switch. Touch the line out, touch the line out, touch the line out. And then they do a whole bunch. And then you go, oh my gosh, what letter has little lines going out on it, just like our Christmas lights? Oh my gosh, like the letter E, or you could do F. And then you go, okay, I'm gonna make one. And then you guys are going to, I'm gonna go line down. And you can do F if you want to do uppercase. And I'm gonna do one Christmas light, two Christmas lights. And see, because a lot of times, how many of our kiddos do a E that looks like this? Right? They kind of go straight through the middle. So when you're doing this part, you touch the line out, touch the line out. Because when they make their F or E, you can pick which letter you want to practice. You're going to go touch the line out, touch the line out, line down, touch the line out, touch the line out. And then you guys do it, and then they do it. Now, one thing you can do to help kiddos who need a little bit of extra support, you can make some in yellow. You can make that ahead of time or as your students are doing them with you. If you see a kiddo struggling, just reach over and make a couple. Some of my students will ask, can you make one that I can trace? And then I will absolutely make a few that they can trace. You can also do hand over hand. Obviously ask them if you want them to say, is it okay if I help your hand? And then if they say yes, then that's fine. Then you guys do the hand over hand, but some kids don't like that, and that's okay. So ask if you're gonna do hand over hand. So we have our Christmas lights. Now you can also do reindeer. So you would make the circle, and then they have two antlers, and then they have, I did the little, I forgot what those are called on the little pokes on the antler. Okay, so you make a circle, and then you make some heads, and then the kids do it. And then you make two antlers come out, and then they make their antlers. And then you say, oh, our antlers need points. So you make them go across, 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 across. And then they do it. And then they can give them eyeballs and noses. And then you go, oh my gosh, what letter in the alphabet has a line down that has another line that goes across? Lowercase t. And then you make a couple, and then they do it. Like, so much fun. Again, we're just practicing all of those really fun, different types of lines. So, that fell out. It's for another activity. So, we have our reindeer. And again, you can have, like if kids, like I have a little sticker of a reindeer I put in everybody's for this one. You can also pull up a picture of a reindeer on the smartboard. You can grab a children's book and show a picture of reindeer that way, an illustration or a nonfiction. Either one works. And then another thing that you can do is a cutting collage. So we all have all of the different wrapping paper, right? All of it. So grab some or ask families to donate some. And then you're just gonna cut strips and then put it out across the table. And then I have bouncy scissors or regular scissors, and what they're gonna do is they are just going to snip across, and then they're gonna glue it on. Snip and glue, snip and glue. I like these because they bounce back open. So the kids who cut and then it's stuck, they bounce back open for them. Now some kids are, because wrapping paper is thin, they're gonna cut and it'll tear, and that's okay. And they glue it on. Again, we're just practicing, we're just getting scissors in their hands in fun ways to make their scissor skills strong and amazing. So that's one thing you can do. Obviously you can do that for Hanukkah too. There's Hanukkah wrapping paper, which is really fun. There's also a whole bunch of different like themed wrapping papers. So you can grab all the fun wrapping paper. Now what I do with this, so that way I have it next time, you can tell I put a paper clip on it. And then these are my fine motor journal supplies that I have ready. And one of the baskets is like random Halloween, birthday, just random things that I've cut that I didn't use all of. Here's some newspaper. And again, is it gonna last me the whole next time? No, but it's at least a starting piece. Or if maybe I want to like pull out a random one day, or do a couple of different at each table. This is just some tissue paper. I have it kind of there and ready to go. So that's in there too. And then another thing you can do is to practice making a triangle. And we have our shapes. So maybe you guys are working on triangles because they're kind of tricky to draw. So you say, okay, we're gonna draw a triangle. So you're gonna go down, over, up, touch, and then they do it. And then you say, oh, your tree needs a trunk. And it looks like a rectangle, but a long and skinny one. I'm gonna go down, over, up. And look, I don't have to make the last part of the line because my tree is there. But you can make it across if you want. So you can go down, over, up, across, and then they do it. And then you can color it in. And then for fun, you can give them some stickers and they can add stickers to their tree. Another thing you could do if you wanted, whoops, there's an empty page, is you could do a directed drawing. So this isn't in the fine, now you can do a directed drawing anytime you want. It doesn't have to be with, they're not, like a directed drawing isn't in, like photographs isn't in the fine motor journal, you know. But if you want like a step-by-step directed drawings, that's in the directed drawings unit. And in the winter directed drawing unit, there are a couple things. So we have, I'll pull them out. So we have a gingerbread. So again, you do it and then they do it. And it gives you super simple words. And you can, again, do it as like an activity that you can send home for a present, or you can do these in your fine motor journals. So we have a gingerbread. You could do, oops, a reindeer. And then they look like this. So cute. These directed drawings are also great to do if you were doing these for the holiday gift for families to send home. Practice in your fine motor journals first and then do them. You can also do a Christmas tree and then they do it, but it really breaks down the steps. So they do like the zigzag down and the zigzag down, and they do line across, and they add a trunk, and then they add the garland and the lights and then the star. So it really breaks it down. There's also, upside down, a menorah. And there's what that looks like. Again, if you're doing these for end of the year presents for families, practice it in your fine motor journal first 1 or 2 times, and then do it with like the permanent marker or on the canvas or whatever it is. And that's in the directed drawings unit, but you can always do it and just verbally tell them too. That works. Okay, so those are some Christmas. I have Christmas around the world coming in a minute, but I know a lot of you have the Christmas, a lot of you guys have the Christmas centers unit. So in there is this activity that has all of these Christmas light letters. Okay, so and let's say you printed and prepped all of these letters and they come uppercase and lowercase. Let's say you're doing them with sand frames and name activities. So what else you can do is you can use these for fine motor journals. Again, if you've cut and prepped them, like let's use them a couple of times because that's a lot of work. So what you're gonna do is they're gonna open their fine motor journals up to a new page. And it's basically kind of like fishing for letters, but in a fun way. So they can it's like a Christmas tree. So they can grab a letter and they can say G, G, and they can write their G. They could even draw a Christmas tree and write their Christmas tree. So you could just have them make a Christmas tree in their fine motor journal. Okay, we're gonna pretend that's brown. And then that way they can pick the letter. I got a M, up, down, up, down. And then they can pick another one. Again, these are things you probably already have out, right? So let's use the things we have prepped and printed. Abby. Okay, so you could do that. Another thing you can do is instead of having the letters in, you can also, if you have vocabulary cards from the centers unit, you can put those out on the table and they can write those just in their journal. That's another option. Another fun, I'm out of paper. Another fun, we're gonna pretend like my journal's empty right there. Another fun thing to do if they really need to work on some cutting is to grab some little stickers you have and then grab the lines. So if you have younger kiddos or who really need to work on just opening and closing, I keep all of these in here and you can say grab a Christmas color or they can grab any color they want, whatever you wanna do. And again, if it's already prepped, it's right there. Or it's the same page. You can always, I have short ones and long ones. So that way, if we're working on cutting more of a 2-inch line, we have that. Or if we're working on a 1-inch line, that. And what they're gonna do is they are going to, take the sticker. Now, do you need this whole stickers for like everybody? No, what you can do is give everybody like a little piece like this. Okay, and that's all on the table. And what they're gonna do is they are gonna put the stickers on. So this is like a fun, fine motor part that they can do. Now, if you don't have ornaments, you can always just use dots. That works too. You can say they're gumdrops or they're ornaments. We're gonna pretend like I did all of those. And then what you're gonna do is it also is a visual for them to hold the paper. So they cut, 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 and then move their helping hand. Cut, 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 move their helping hand. Cut, 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 move their helping hand. Or again, you could do it on the little paper too. It just depends on, and then they just glue that in their journal. All the little pieces, they would just glue their journal. So again, a activity that you're probably gonna do anyways, because we're gonna do lots of scissors activities. So why not do that in your fine motor journal? So that way everything is in one nice little home. So you have like a little mini portfolio with all of their fine motor work. Okay, so those are some Christmas ideas. Now, let's talk about some Christmas. Let's switch to gingerbread first, because I feel like gingerbread you can use for some of the Christmas or holidays around the world too, because they're kind of cookie-ish. So hold on, let me switch to that. Now, you're wondering why I have all of these done. Well, in your teacher's guide, in your fine motor journal teacher's guide, I have, again, 6 for every theme. And look, now granted, I did these, okay, so, but it gives you a visual on what to do. So that way it's not just like an explanation. It's a visual on how to set it up and do it in your classroom, which is helpful, right? So that's why I have these. They're all the ones that I used to make this guide. Okay, so, oh, here we are. Okay, so, oh, I forgot I have them right here. Okay, so for this one, it's icing, because like all of these little swirls that go up and down and up and down, I had a little puppet that has that like rickrack type motion, like a S, on here. Okay, so these are all the different letters you can work on for that, and you want to show him and then talk about the types of lines you want to do. Now, I know you're thinking like, what's the line down and the curve, but what does an A do? It has a curve and a line down. So say, oh my gosh. So you're gonna do straight lines of icing and then curvy lines of icing. And then straight lines of icing and curvy lines of icing. And then they do it. Or you can tell them to do some straight lines of icing and then they do it, and then do some curvy ones. And then you can have, again, these out to model it and turn it this way. So that way it's vertical. Now, an A is the start of a curve and it has that line down. So it's the first part of the icing and then line down. So that's why you can get the letter A from that, because we have a straight line, or we have a curve and a straight line, and all these letters have a curve and a straight line. Now the other thing, these are out of order a little bit, we can do candy canes again, because F I feel like is a hard letter to write. And you can do the multicolors, all the things. It's just a fun letter. So to work on some gingerbread house and the letter D, because I feel like sometimes that's tricky, right? Because the big belly, and when it touches the top and it touches the bottom, and a lot of times it gets passed up the line, right? Let me grab my paper again. Okay, we're just gonna do this so I don't waste all paper. So you can say, oh my gosh, we're gonna make a gingerbread house. Okay, our house, remember, it has, what's the shape at the bottom? Oh, it has kind of like a tall rectangle. Okay, can you make one? And then they make their house. And then say it has a roof. It's kind of like the top of a triangle, and then they make their roof, okay? And then say on our gingerbread house, I want there to be gumdrops. And so we're gonna go bump, 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 bump. And then I'm gonna switch colors. And I'm gonna touch the line, bump, 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 bump. Now, my gumdrop can't go inside my house, so I'm gonna make sure I touch the line and go over. Bump, 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 bump. And then they can do it here. You can also have them do it like across and say, oh my gosh, what letters have a bump in them? And you can talk about how it's like, and you can practice a lot of letters with this, like B and D and P's and C's. And then I also, and again, you can either show a picture of a gingerbread house, or I just had a cookie cutter and I put some gumdrops on the roof. Again, just use what you have. And if you're doing the theme, you probably already have these things out, okay? And then say, oh my gosh, it's kind of like the letter D. Look, so you have a line down and a belly, and then you can practice that one. Now, look at their writing, look at how they're writing their name. What letters do they need to work on? What letters are hard for them? Is, Maddie working on her uppercase D, so do letter D. Or maybe they're struggling with P. Look at their writing to determine what letter they need to practice, or they need more practice with. Blah, blah, blah. Another one is a peppermint, and it kind of like a spider. Q's are so hard to write. It's such a tricky letter. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna have your fine motor journal open. You're gonna, oh my god, and you're gonna have a peppermint, okay? Like I have my peppermint, and say, oh my gosh, what do you notice in the middle of that peppermint? Oh my gosh, there's spirals. Oh my gosh. So we're gonna make some spirals in our journals, and we're gonna make peppermints, okay? So we're gonna start in and around and stop, okay? Oh, wait, you can also have them, I had to look at my cheat sheet. So you can do it kind of two ways. So you can have them make the circle and then do the swirl on the inside. So you can say, okay, everybody, we're gonna make our circles. Okay, you do it, and then they do it, and then they can make their swirls on the inside. Okay, and then say, we need a wrapper, and a wrapper goes all the way around, So you can use like, maybe we're gonna use green to be extra festive, and we're gonna go inside the circle, out, inside 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 out. and then say, okay, you guys put some wrappers on your peppermints, and then they do. And then say, oh my gosh, do you know what letter it looks like? Oh, looks like letter Q. You're gonna make a circle, go inside the line and out, and then they do it. Okay, you can also probably do like a spiral is the start of a G. So if you do your spirals over here and going in, it's also, you could also do a letter G because it goes in and in, right? Okay, you guys get the drift. And then something fun for fine motor, you could also do, again, if we're doing cutting collages and you don't want to put more things on the bulletin board, do them in your fine motor journal. You could also make this a tearing collage. It's a cup of hot cocoa. So you can draw it beforehand or they can draw it, and then they just, again, cut it and tear it in. And then you can also make a maze for the gingerbread man. Okay, so these are just some circles I had. You can also, again, just use dot stickers if you have those, or you could use dot markers like these. Where are they? You could do these. Again, use whatever you have. So basically you give them, you say you need a start and an end. And then so you can have them start with like a sticker, or they can just make a starting like circle spot, and then they make a path, and then they have an end. And then basically they're just filling it up with stickers. Kind of like Candyland, right? And this is just really good fine motor. We're just working on those, getting those fine motor muscles really, really strong. And stickers are great to do with that. So yeah, and now if you have the gingerbread unit, you can always take, you can do the directed drawing too. Take all of these word cards that you have in your writing center, and you can just put them out with some fun markers, and they can write the words in their journals. We're gonna pretend like mine's open. Okay, and they would just write them in. Okay. Or, I'm gonna put those over here. Or you can see, okay, you know what? We need to practice writing our numbers. So I have these number cards from this game in the gingerbread unit. So I'm gonna pull those out. I have this game. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull out those numbers. I can barely reach it. And then you're gonna grab some spatulas, and you can also do, there are 10 frames too, so if you wanna work on those too, you can, up to you. But they can grab one of the gingerbread cookies, and they can write the number 5, and if you want, they can even put that many dots next to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then they can put the cookie back there. Okay, again, you probably need to work on writing numbers or identifying numbers, and this is a really fun way to do it. Again, have that spatula, and I got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, maybe you want to work on team numbers, and that's okay, because there's team numbers in this game too. Again, we're using the things we already have print and prepped, or maybe they really loved these gingerbread numbers, so we're gonna use them again for other things, right? And maybe you wanna do a directed drawing of a gingerbread house, and you can do that too. Totally up to you, whatever you want to do. All right, so now we're gonna go back to Christmas around the world. So let's flip back there in our teacher's guide. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Whoopsies, wrong one. There's so many ideas. I had to like page mark it. Okay. So we have one for Hanukkah, one for Kwanzaa, one for like a Christian Christmas, one for Diwali, one for Los Posadas, and one for Ramadan. All kinds of fun ones. So for Ramadan, or not Ramadan, reading one thing and have this open to a different one. So for Hanukkah, they spin a dreidel. And if you have those in art, maybe you're doing spin art with some dreidels, or maybe they're playing with them in your classroom. So what you can do is talk about how when it spins, it's kind of like Here it is. Like, where did my cards go? It's like these loops. When they spin, it kind of goes on the ground and it goes in little loops. And they can also make it with their finger. Say, oh my gosh, we're gonna make dreidel spins on our family new journal. So we're gonna start over here and we're gonna go up and loop and up and loop and up and loop and up and loop. It's a little bit of stretch, but an E is kind of like, and then they would do it, but an E is kind of like a dreidel spin. So you start your line and you go up and swoop. And when they swoop, you stop. So go, but start straight. So straight line and then up and swoop like a dreidel. So straight line, up and swoop. Straight line, up and swoop. So again, we're just trying to get them to get some of these types of lines in to make letters that are similar. So that is one for Hanukkah. For Kwanzaa, you can have them make some oranges and some bananas, which would be like the letter C. Now, we assume that everybody knows what an orange and a banana look like, but have they ever seen an orange that hasn't been peeled? Because a lot of them eat the little mandarins in the cup. So grab some from your pretend play and grab an orange and a banana so they can really see the shapes that it makes. All right, so for a Christian like Christmas, you can make a cross. So they can make yellow crosses and then they can, which would look like the letter T. You can also do a tearing collage for that. Or you can kind of do little baby Jesus. So what you're gonna do, lost my paper. Okay. So you're gonna go, okay, he needs somewhere to sleep. So we're gonna make a little bed for him. So we're gonna make, it's gonna be X's. I'm a little tongue-tied, and they're gonna make 3 X's, and that's gonna be his bed. Or you could draw the baby first too, like whatever you want to do, whatever you think would be better. So you could draw baby Jesus, give him a head, and he's wrapped up in a blanket, and then give him a head, and he's wrapped up in a blanket, and then say, oh, he needs some hay to sleep in. And they can maybe scribble some hay, and then his bed can be the X's, right? And then they can color it in with crayons, and it looks like this. It's so cute. And if you want them to write the word, grab a sentence strip, and they can write it. For Diwali, they are gonna make this gorgeous design. So I always start with the dot in the middle, and then I have them make more circles around it without touching. And then you can also show, like grab the Christmas Around the World unit, or grab a book or pull it up on the smartboard, a picture of a real one, and then they can make those dots around it, or maybe like little zigzags, depending on what kind of lines they're able to do. And then you can say, oh, it looks like the letter O, and maybe, because I feel like O is a simple letter, but they can also get into some bad habits of making the letter O if they do this, right? They're not like touching perfectly. So we also want to forget, even though they may be able to write it, we want to go around and stop, right where the other one begins. Around and stop, around and stop, around and stop. Okay, so if your circles or your O's are looking like that, it's a good time to kind of revisit that letter to help sure they're making good handwriting habits. All right, for los posadas, we're gonna make poinsettias, which you would have a real poinsettia, well, not a real poinsettia because those are poisonous. Have a fake one, or again, you can pull one up on the smartboard, and they are kind of like zigzags, but poinsettias, like the zigzags, they kind of go in a circle. So we're gonna make our zigzags that go in a circle. So first we're gonna make the inside of, so make a circle and color it in. Make some circles and color it in. You do it. And then they make their center of their flower. So that way they kind of have like a starting point. And then say, okay, make your poinsettias with zigzags, but they go around it. So go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Look how pretty. And it's like a poinsettia. And then say, oh my gosh. And then they do it. And say, oh my gosh, what? Is there any letters that have zigzags in them? And they're going to say like W, M, N, V. And maybe they need to work on a V. So you're going to come over here. And you're going to go a V, start to the top, and you go up, down, but make sure it's pointy because a lot of times their V's will look like U's, right? So we want to go up, down, just like the point on the poinsettia leaf. Again, we're just trying to have a lot of fun doing really not so fun things, right? Like writing letters sometimes isn't the most fun. It's really hard for little kids. It's very taxing. It's a lot of fine motor work. Like so many skills are having to happen at the same time. They have to hold their in their core. They have to have strong upper muscles or big muscles like shoulders and arms. They have to have strong little muscles. They have to have strong pencil grasp. They have to have hand-eye coordination. They have to be able to have both sides of the body working together. Their helping hand has to hold the paper. So many things are happening. And they have to have letter knowledge so they know what the letter looks like. So many things. So another thing you can do, this one's really fun, is you can put out the big like list of all the different types of lines and say, we are going to make so we're going to do one for Ramadan. So we are going to make a prayer rug. Where is it? Here. So again, grab a picture of one. You can, again, pull one up on the smartboard, use a vocabulary card, whatever you want to do. So everybody will make a square, and you guys, you can do it, model it. Go down, over, up, touch, and then they do it. And then say, there's so many really cool designs on these prayer rugs. And then you can look at the real one and say, what do you see? Oh, I see zigzags. I see lines. I see dots, all these fun things. I see patterns. And say, oh my gosh, they're all different types of lines. So each one you can make the same or a different color, but say, I want you to fill up your prayer rug with all the different types of lines. So you can say, okay, I'm gonna make a couple to get you started. So I'm gonna make, first thing I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna do a line. So I'm gonna touch the line, over, stop. Next I'm gonna do the dash. I'm gonna go across, 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 across. And then I'm gonna switch colors. And then I think I wanna do the zigzag, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, I'm gonna go on my rug, touch the line, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Say, okay, now you guys fill up your prayer rug with all these different beautiful designs, and then they can. Again, we're practicing all of these different types of lines. There's so many. And this is in your Fine Motor Journals book as well. And again, doing it in a fun way to tie into all of our themes, whether it's gingerbread or Christmas, or if you're doing Christmas around the world. Just lots and lots of fun, different fine motor things to make building those little tiny muscles not so boring and so torturous and so horrible, right? We don't want to just put out the worksheets. And please don't print out a worksheet and glue it in your fine motor journal. It's still a worksheet. It's just glued in a notebook. Still a worksheet. Just glued in a notebook, okay? It's okay. Like, just let them try and do all the fun things. Another thing that I want to give you the idea for is, just because like you're doing like holidays around the world or Christmas doesn't mean you can't look at the other themes, because there's bunches. So maybe you're gonna go, you know what, I don't really like any of those, or maybe, you know what, maybe I need another cutting one. You're gonna look through and go, oh my gosh, sweets. That's kind of like gingerbread. Let's see what they have over here. Oh my gosh, we're totally doing this. Maybe you want to make cinnamon rolls. Where'd I put it? Hold on, finding it. Okay, I got it right here. Whoops, open it up. So maybe your students need to practice making the letter G. So they're gonna make a cinnamon roll. You're gonna start here, and you're gonna go around and around and around, stop, and you're gonna have out your spirals, and you're gonna have a real cinnamon roll, whether it's one from the bakery or one from the pretend play, or have one on the smartboard. And so you're gonna make a cinnamon roll, go around, 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 stop, and then they do it, and then say, oh, G is like a cinnamon roll. You're gonna go up, start at the top, around, in. So it's just the beginning of the cinnamon roll. So maybe you need to work on those types of lines. Maybe you need to work on more cutting. So grab your baskets of fun, grab your ovals and your triangles. Again, this is why I love having these printed. Put them down the middle of the table and say, okay, we're going to make cookies, because everybody bakes cookies at Christmas and a lot of other cultures do too. So this one would work great for our the Christmas around the world. Gingerbread or Christmas works for all of them. So put these circle basket shapes, put them out, and then say you are going to cut it out, and then say, I want you to make designs and use all the different types of lines, and you can have the poster out too, or you can have just these cards out, and then say, if you need ideas, look through there, and then make all the different designs on your cookies. So you could do that one if you need another cutting. But again, just because you're doing a theme doesn't mean you have to stick with just those. Maybe you're doing Polar Express because that's a Christmas book. So maybe you're gonna look under transportation, because guess what? There are some train activities, okay? You can make train tracks like the letter T. You can, or maybe you're talking about travel and everybody's flying. So maybe you're gonna do an airplane one. Maybe you wanna make a letter train. So you could do letters. So these are just the letters and numbers. You can't really see it, hold on, let me pull some out. So see, it's just literally a bucket of all of the different letters cut up. I have an uppercase, I have lowercase, I have one with numbers, I have one that's just 1 through 10, one that's through teen numbers, but they can make a letter train. So they make their track and then they glue their letters on. Now you can work on having the letters just stand up tall. You can tell them to make their name. You can have them make a pattern. You can have them make it in like ABC order, like have them make an alphabet train, whatever you want to do. And it obviously is going to depend on the level of your kiddos. If you have younger kiddos, we're just going to work on putting the letters on. If you have, kindergarten kids, maybe they're going to do it in ABC, like do all the letters in order. Or maybe they're going to make a name. Maybe just do the letters in their name. Okay, you're their teacher. You know what level they need or what level they need to work on. Or what skills they need to work on rather. So don't think that just because you're doing a theme in here doesn't mean you can't also look through the other themes, because you need maybe another cutting or another fine motor, or maybe they're loving directed drawing, so you want another one of those, or maybe they're loving punches, so you want another one of those. So have a ton of fun with your fine motor journals for the month of December, which is when we do all of the Christmas and the gingerbread and the holidays around the world. You can be festive and bring all of your little holiday friends, and it'll be a blast. So I hope you enjoyed all of these fun, fine motor journal ideas for the holidays in December. And yeah, check out all the other videos too on YouTube and on the blog, which it connects to YouTube. So make sure you like and follow us over there. We have a ton of holiday videos. There's like holiday sensory. There is holiday light table. So there's a ton on there. Christmas, gingerbread, all the different themes. Go check it out. So, there's a sweets theme too, if you want to do gingerbread and then sweets. So all that's over there. So go grab all that and have fun. And I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye.